And we're back to talk some more about Does Harry Potter Tickle Sleeping Dragons, Nancy Solon Villaluz's book, the first part of a trilogy on the Harry Potter series. Okay, so let's go ahead and open up the Harry Potter Tickle Sleeping Dragons book. And let's not hope to wake up the dragons, because Harry, or maybe it's not Harry, whoever that is in the picture doesn't seem to want to tickle the sleeping dragons in the picture here. And the whole point of the book, narratively, is don't wake them up. Or did we wake them up? We're not really sure. Okay. But if you check the reviews, that's what's going on. So let's open up the book and look at the first chapter. There's some really neat chapter art here. I think her husband did the artwork for the book and in the chapter. Chapter 1's called Forgotten and Remembered. And the little subheading you can see here says, "The game is afoot. Follow your spirit, and upon this charge cry, God for Harry, England and St. George," which is from William Shakespeare, Henry V, which is interesting because Henry V is Prince Hal and Henry IV, and I think there's a relation to the name Harry. I think that's why that's there. Okay, well, she starts it, "Do you want to know a secret?" And we say, yes, we want to know a secret, because we always want to know more about Harry Potter. And she goes into how Rowling planned the series. She uses the term septology to describe the series as a whole, make it really easier to reference it. And let's see, some other sections of the first chapter. She talks about genealogy. Haha. Isn't that fun? And let's see, some relations of how she feels that she's related to the Harry Potter series, literarily, of course, and through, you know, backgrounds and that kind of thing. Chapter 2, really pretty, is on childhood fantasy. This chapter is going to deal with Elizabeth Gouge's The Little White Horse book and some of the so-called children's books that may have influenced Rowling that aren't influenced as much as Dante. That's a total stab at John Granger and his work, because he talks about Dante in the Deathly Hallows lectures. Okay, well, she's going to talk about The Little White Horse. She doesn't talk about Dante yet. She'll probably talk about Dante later. Dante and Harry Potter is such a cool essay. You should really read John Granger's books, too. So let's keep turning the pages. Chapter 3, Never Tickle a Sleeping Dragon. And one of Rowling's quotes, I always, when I read Rowling's quotes, because I read books out loud, much to the chagrin of anybody who is in the house, they get to hear about Harry Potter all the time. So I always adopt my Rowling voice. I don't know why, it happens. And here is what it says underneath the heading. "I put everything into these books. After my daughter, Harry is the most important thing to me," and this is J.K. Rowling from Dalton, Scotland, on Sunday, 9 July 2000. Okay, so in this chapter, she's going to talk about how Rowling views the series, because again, she uses a lot of Rowling's interviews for her book here. Chapter 4, J.K. Rowling, Secret Agent. Dun dun dun. What's that about? There's going to be a lot of quotes in here. Quotes from throughout the popularity of the series, sometimes before. She does discover a lot of things. I have to hand it to her. This is not easy to put all this together, and I did a master's thesis where I had to pull together materials from the First World War and primary sources that are out of print, and it's a pain. So I feel your pain, Miss Villaluz, but you have a very popular subject, and we all want to hear about it, so it's awesome. Another chapter, Hogwarts, Would Wizardry School Forbid Witchcraft? This is basically answering the whole question to this Christian fundamentalist, and if you're a Christian fundamentalist, please don't take offense if you love Harry Potter, but these are for all the people that said, you know, this is witchcraft, you know, we're going to burn the books, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, that probably happened, but who really cares? You know, what are you going to do? And she basically makes the case, yes, Hogwarts forbids witchcraft. So how does that happen? I don't know. You have to read the book. Okay. One of my post-it notes. This is when I put a post-it note in when I argue with the author. When I find that there's an issue. And I'd love to know her email address so I could tell her about that. Because I think that these authors, like, there's two on this page. That could be issues. I don't know what. Reckless dragon clues. These are clues about the Christian symbolism in the series. Another post-it note. This isn't to say that there's a lot of errors, but I think it's really constructive that you critique your books just like you'd critique a movie or music and what you don't like, and you get back to people so that they can learn from their errors or what are perceived to be their errors, or they can learn what your opinions are, and everybody gets together more in a community. Poor Dragon Kicked in the Head. I love her titles. It's really fun. And then Veiled. She deals, of course, a lot with the Christian influences in the series. And then here, sorry, shaky camera. At the end, Up in Flames, the last chapter. I really love how her book ends. Does this look familiar? I'm not going to read it, but if you know what those 3 lines can say, if you can see that from here, you know what book that's from, and you know that's awesome. And I really want to know about this book. Does Harry Potter tickle waking dragons? But her website's not up, so I guess we'll see what happens. She gives an extensive bibliography of her sources. A lot of it's Axio quote, which is such a great and awesome source. I wish she mentioned it and acknowledged it in the acknowledgements page, but here's where acknowledgements would be, and there's nothing. I should put a post-it note there and says,